Hello, guys. Yes, you are welcome to today's live session. Let's get into what we have for today. So, if you are one of those people who still think that this government has got anything to offer the Nigerian people, you are really making a very big mistake. They promised us that they are going to hit the ground running immediately they get into office. Nigerians are yet to see that after 6 months, as in 6 months gone, we are yet to see that ground. We are yet to see them hitting the ground running. That is it. So the president of Nigeria, in the person of Tinubu, has come out begging companies not to exit Nigeria. Begging all these big companies, that have employed thousands of Nigeria not to leave Nigeria. If you are asking the reason behind them leaving Nigeria, I've got a video to play for you guys to watch. But I tell you, the way things are going today in Nigeria, so many businesses are suffering, as in they've been struggling, but I think at this point they've reached their elastic limit and they are like, we cannot continue. In short, if we should keep staying, we are just going to incur more debt on ourselves. So it's just better we leave now that we still have, that window of peacefully living so that we don't run into, being bankrupt. That is just the situation, the reality, when it comes to businesses in Nigeria today. This government has not done anything to address the state of our naira. Naira has just been dwindling, as in the fluctuation, it goes up, it comes down, and you know how much naira is today. So you can imagine most of these companies, they get some of their raw materials outside the country. Have you even wondered how they survive? Have you wondered how they are running their business? Moreover, Nigeria is a country that does not have electricity. Some of them have to pay for diesel, and they came on the day of inauguration. They said subsidy removed. Now so many companies they are sweating. I mean, these companies are sweating. Nigerian companies do not have option. Where would they run to? They are just suffering and smiling. But for some of these foreign companies, that just came into Nigeria to see if they can make more money, they are leaving, because how much will they even make in Nigeria when they translate it to dollar? Do you know how much they'll be running losses? As in they'll be having some shortages, and that is why they are saying, oh, it's just better we leave this environment because it's no longer conducive. Most of them were expecting this government to come in and put some policies that will give them a kind of hope for tomorrow, but they've not seen that come to play. We've only seen this government being busy, traveling, and then telling us that they are going to buy SUVs, bulletproof cars, and all that, renovating houses. These are the things we've seen lately. These are the only things that have gone in the news that this government is after. As in the budget that they presented to the National Assembly, they've not been anything that is so outstanding that people have come out to laud, as in to praise and say, wow, for them to have apportioned this amount of money to tackle this issue, I think it should be praised. No, we didn't see that. Instead, we saw more of the spending. So some of these foreign countries, they just look at the Nigerian market, look at the business environment in Nigeria. They are saying, no, we are done. We are done. We are done. We just have to leave. If we don't leave, we will just collapse totally. And look at the president begging them not to leave Nigeria. He said, we need each other. President Tinubu begs multinational companies not to leave Nigeria. It's not a matter of begging. How are they seeing our judiciary? What are they thinking about Nigeria? Where are the policies? You told us then that you don't want to release your secret so that Peter Obi and Atiku will not steal it. You don't want to release it. At the time you said, is it data, statistics, now we could chop. Now it's time to start pressing some data on your calculator. Some statistics are needed at this moment, and they don't know how to go about it. That is what is costing Nigeria some of these businesses that now want to leave. And I tell you, so many people are going to be losing their job. I am going to be playing this video for you. A guy has taken his time to say some things that make sense as to why these companies are leaving. Honestly, Nigeria is one of the environments you never want to dare come to do business. As in, people have just been coming because we have the population. It's not as if the government is like making the policies, that attract foreign investors. Look at Nigeria. You see so many things, a lot of fraud, and then you go to court. Okay, since after the election, we've seen our judges, our courts, they've just been after political issues because it pays. Cases that has to do with politics bring money. They bring money to the table, but other issues that are there, on the decks of our judges are just left unattended to. They just have to focus on the political aspect because now. And all these things are what people are looking at when they come to Nigeria to do business. So let me allow you just take a look at this video. I think it's going to make a little more
GSK
sense.
saying they are shutting down productions in Nigeria. Yes, GSK are the makers of things like your Panadol, your Sensodyne toothpaste. As we're still getting used to that news, then came Sanofi saying they are ceasing operations in Nigeria from next year, 2024. Yes. Now, Procter & Gamble, P&G, have announced that they are ceasing operations in Nigeria, production in Nigeria. Wahala! For those who do not know Procter & Gamble, they are the producers of your Ariel, Always, Pampers, Heads and Shoulders, Oral-B toothpaste. So all these things they're going to stop producing them in Nigeria. The question is, why are these companies leaving Nigeria? Is it because of the president? Or is it because of you or me? Calm down. Let me explain. Let us look at what the chief financial officer said. He said, when you think of places like Nigeria, when you think about places like Argentina, because we have similar issues, it's very difficult for a US dollar denominated company to create value. See this word here, value. Let me break it down for you. Most of the pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria import most of their components they use in making drugs for you and I. How do they source those components from around the world? They open something called an LC with the banks. And when you open an LC, it means that you're trying to source money so that you could pay international organizations and get your goods down to Nigeria. But you and I know that the devaluation of the naira has been going. Naira has been doing like this. And the central bank has not been liquid enough to attend to everybody. So the central bank doesn't have so much dollar to give everybody at once to settle their claims. So these companies suffer. On top of all that wahala, there is no power for them to run their factories cheaper. Most of them rely on diesel and some of them gas, but these things they need to buy. And you know the amount of how diesel has gone up in the past 1 year. So cost of production in Nigeria has risen so high. So on top of that, if they used to use 200 naira to produce one item and then they sell it for 300 naira, so they make a profit of 100 naira. So that profit of 100 naira, if naira was at 500, say a year ago or 2 years ago, they were making 2 cents per product. Now that same product that they were making 100 naira. Now that the naira is at 1,100, they are making 0.09 cents per product. Mind you, their workers are complaining about fuel hike and asking for salary increase. The infrastructure around Nigeria is decaying, so the amount they are paying on transport is increasing because they need to send it on Manile. Their trucks cannot move because some roads are bad and you need to stay 4 days on the road. So all these things they've considered and sat down and say, Nigeria, let's move elsewhere. So this is what the companies are deciding to do. They are moving to an import-only activity. Import only. All those products that we are used to in Nigeria, they will now be imported. So whatever cost that they incur from importing it, they will hand it over to us. So if the production comes down to 20,000 naira for a drug you used to buy 5,000 naira before, you go bear am. But this has some positives in it. Since local production is very expensive, if they produce abroad and bring down the product, the cost might be cheaper. Might. But with that will come a weaker currency because all of us, we need to buy drugs to survive when we're sick. So it means that we're going to be trading naira for dollars and that will weaken the naira because a lot of pressure. So either way, it's not an interesting time for the government. It choke everybody. There's another school of thought that is saying that there are local competition that have come up to replace some of these goods. And so they are no longer as competitive as they used to be. So because they cannot fight those competition, that's why they are leaving. Some of these companies have been in Nigeria for 30 years. So let's not forget that. Whether you're for the side that is saying that there are substitutes, that's why these companies are leaving, or you are saying the government needs to do better, all of us can agree on one thing. The ease of doing business in Nigeria is not there. It is difficult to run businesses in Nigeria at the moment. As a matter of urgency, the government needs to address number one, power. Number two, security. Three, infrastructure. How would some goods be staying 4 5 days? There are certain sections of Nigeria that are not passable by, we don't have trains, by trucks, because they are stuck there for 5 6 days. Haba. This is shout out to the government. We all know that we're looking for foreign investors to come, but how will investors come in when the ones that are here are trying to leave? It sends a bad signal to them, and that's affecting the value of the naira for you and I. So my dear people in government, I know it's not easy for you guys, but please, you need to put on our thinking caps on ways around this. Let me hear your thoughts about what you think can help.
Yes, the environment, the business environment in Nigeria is really tough. And this government, we've not seen them come up with policies. We've not even seen any action being taken. Do you know one of the shocking things that the vice president said recently? I'll be showing you an image that to back up what I'm saying. He said the bombing that took place in Kaduna, in case you don't know, the military mistakenly bombed an area where civilians were like having a celebration and killed 100 plus persons. And the vice president just came out, was it yesterday, telling Nigerians, let's move on. Let's not dwell on the Kano bombing. Sorry, it's Kaduna bombing. Let's just move on. And Mr. Ribadu, we all know him too. I think he's one of the security chiefs in this administration. He only came out to say, let's not dwell on what happened in Kaduna. Nigerians, the lives of the citizens have been reduced to nothing. As in, if it's in the Western world and they happen to lose just a person, they want to know why. They want to investigate and investigate and investigate and hold some people responsible. They want to punish people so that that doesn't repeat. But do you know the shocking news is that I was watching a particular video on Channels Television, and the reporter said in the last 2 years, there have been this kind of mistake 10 times, as in 10 times of this operational mistake from the military. Honestly, I was like, God, what is happening? So each time they do this, they call it operational mistake. This is what this guy is even saying, that security is another thing. How safe are people in Nigeria, both the foreigners and even we who are the citizens? How safe are we? Businesses that are going to come in, they'll be worried about, security. On the floor of the Senate this other day, they were arguing about, the security in Abuja. They were like trying to debate and saying that Abuja is no longer safe. Not even the village areas. I mean, inside the town. One of the senators said even close to the embassies, there are incidents of, kidnap people within the city, not in the villages, those villages surrounding the Abuja city. No, just inside the town, such things are happening. And these people keep using our money, traveling outside the country, telling us that they are going to woo in investors. Please, for God's sake, can somebody even explain to them that they've got a lot of work to do, internal cleansing, as in ensure Nigeria is working first before you go to start wooing investors to come into Nigeria. They can't come when everywhere is still looking rough. As in, things are looking rough. Look at our naira. The thing is depreciating every day, as in falling every day. The value of the naira is just sliding by the day. And there are no policies on ground. There's nothing that is being done. Instead, they may just want to print money and pump into the system. You know, this printing of money, it ends up destroying the economy more. That's never an option. One of the options, like Mr. Peter Obi will always sing it like a song, is to engage Nigerians. Let's have active and productive citizens who are engaged. Engage the people. Let the people be working. Once we are working, even if it's in agriculture, had it been this government has really taken time since this 6 months that they came into office, they paid attention to agriculture and ensure this insecurity is being, brought to, let me just say, brought to a stop. You will see that people will be very, very busy, and it's going to be affecting our economy positively. But now nothing is being done and they are just busy begging. Who want to hear beg? Who want to hear I beg, make you stay back in Nigeria? At whose own cost? Are they the ones who are going to suffer all this? Possibly their businesses have been struggling over the years and they were hoping as, okay, let Buhari go. Maybe the next president. Maybe some of these businesses were hoping that Peter Obi will be the next president, and they were just like trying to strive and see, let's just survive this election season and see if Obi will become the president. At least he has got some ideas moving Nigeria from consumption to production. Possibly if he becomes president, Nigeria will become, another better place or a good place for them to continue doing their businesses, only for them to see INEC giving us who we didn't vote for. And look at, we are now suffering it. This is it. This is one of the effects of, allowing the people, the person who is not the people's choice, to be in this position. Honestly, the president, Tinubu, he's of age. We heard him speak, during the last climate conference. He could not even put his thoughts together. And sometimes you won't blame him. Age comes with so many challenges. Why will INEC do this to Nigerians? Why would the judiciary even worsen the whole situation for us? This is it. We are suffering it now. The judiciary is being promoted. Those of them that handle these cases, they are being promoted. They are getting new houses, new cars, salary increase, and then promotion from, appeal court to the Supreme Court. They are reaping from, what they did, the job well done. But the Nigerian people are the ones suffering it. So you can imagine how many companies did this guy mention now? So the people working with all these companies are going to be going home jobless. What would they tell their wives, their children? Some of them might have children in the universities and all that. What are they going to tell them? That I lost my job at this time when the Nigerians are really suffering, as in there is no money, people are having so many challenges. So that is one of the things we are seeing lately. Businesses leaving Nigeria is another big blow, to this country. I just hope that we'll be able to survive these 3+ years that is still remaining for this administration. So guys, that is it for us to know that, businesses are living and they are begging. But who will want to listen? Nobody will want to listen. So this person tweeted and said, foreign airlines. Yes, there is a headline too that is talking about foreign airlines also getting prepared to leave Nigeria, just like GlaxoSmithKline, P&G, Sanofi, Adventis, and others did. And many others will follow. That is it. Many others. This one are foreign airlines to exit Nigeria aviation market. This is coming from this body, this IATA. That is it. They are leaving Nigeria because our naira is really depreciating. Most of them, they prefer dollar. So before they get the naira and try to, change it to the dollar, everything is gone, because you need to carry bundles of money to go and change for you to be able to see something substantial in terms of the dollar. So that is it. Businesses are leaving, and they are telling us just to let's move on from what happened in Kaduna. So this is coming from Mr. Chidi Kalu. He's saying that I consider it essential to go on record. There is something quite unsettling about the timing of the decision of the NJC Nigeria to elevate to the Supreme Court Nigeria the judge who presided over the Kano governorship appeal. Let's try and break it down. This is one of the things that businesses look at, the judiciary. So this man is saying that this is the judge that, like, let me say the chairman of the group that oversaw this judgment. So he's now being promoted. The Kano State appeal, whatever. This is the judge. He has now been promoted. So Mr. Chidi Odinkalu is saying, going by the timing, for them to be promoted, it means that something really went wrong, in this judgment that they gave to the Kano people. So most of them that handled Peter Obi's appeal and that of Atiku and then that of Kano State, they are all being rewarded by being promoted to the Supreme Court. So them getting to the Supreme Court is another place where they are going to, in case if there is next election, they will still be the one, because elections in Nigeria will always end in court. There is never a time they will conduct an election and it will just end like that. And moreover, remember, we still have Mahmood Yakubu as the INEC chairman. Possibly they will not want to remove him. And what would we want to expect come next election? Honestly, these people, they are just holding Nigeria at ransom. And look at how the economy is going, because we don't have competent hand, as in, we don't have competent hands. Look at how Nigeria is just sliding backward. And this is also affecting Nigerians too. You can see that UK universities reportedly deregistered Nigerian students, orders over new immigration laws. So Nigerians are really going to be in the forefront of any negative thing that is happening outside the country, because they will feel that, oh, people are coming with forged certificates and all that. We all know all these things. This is Australia too, is taking the same path. They want to ensure that they don't just open their doors to, international students to just start flogging in. All these things have been happening since Nigeria's last election took place. And this is some of the consequences that came out as a result of this last election that we had. Mr. Okay, this is Bishop Kuka. He's saying that Nigerians are free to leave Nigeria, because some people will tell you, the Japa syndrome is affecting the hospitals. We have shortage of doctors and other medical personnel. Many doctors have left, but do you know the shocking thing is that Nigerian doctors are leaving for Sierra Leone, as in Sierra Leone, Rwanda. At least Rwanda is better, Botswana is better, but places like Sierra Leone, that means that things are really tough in Nigeria. For us to have doctors who prefer countries like that instead of Nigeria, honestly, it means that things are not going well in this country. And we must tell ourselves the truth. Things are not going well in this country. Okay, so this person is saying that when Nigerian Air Force accidentally bombed 236 persons in Borno State, Muslims, Muslim Northerners kept quiet. I don't know why these people are just like playing with people's life. It's not even a matter of whether they kept quiet then or not. This thing should be condemned. The military keep making this mistake all the time, and nobody is brought to book. Nobody is being penalized, and that is why it keeps happening. So shifting it or trying to say, oh, the Northerners kept quiet when it was Buhari, why should they talk now? Why? Because it's Tinubu, does not make sense at all. This is the EFCC boss saying that we'll give those stealing public funds sleepless nights. I'm just wondering if the EFCC is really a body that is very transparent and really wants to sanitize Nigeria, get rid of corrupt personnel. I think even the president of Nigeria would have been one of the people. We also, during the time of Buhari, when they were about having an election, when he brought the Bullion van that was sharing money, and up to today, that case is buried. When these people talk about fighting corruption, sometimes they are just focusing on the poor masses. Don't forget, he has come out to say that 70% of the Nigerian youths are criminals. Can you imagine? That's why he said 7 out of 10 they are criminals. And now he's saying that they are going to give those who are stealing public funds sleepless night. Who are the people they are going to go after? It's those who doesn't have anybody to speak for them. If not, we have so many of them that have corruption, linked to them, and they've not been proved. That is the country we are talking about. And they are looking for investors. That's the same thing here. Tough times await looters. Let's watch and see how it's going to play. Is it that they are going to be going after their opponents or what? This is Kaduna. The same Kaduna that we talked about. You can see the bad guys are there. It's like they've taken over some section. You can see that they are even collecting tax. So people who fail to collect tax, they suffer for it. That is it. Kaduna bandits drive locals out of ancestral home for failing to pay tax. They have to pay attention to security. I mean, this government, you heard the guy who said it, that we need power in Nigeria. We don't have light. Some of these companies, they spend a lot in generating power for them to be able to produce their goods. We need security. The naira is there, falling and rising, falling and rising. Even now, it keeps rising, as in the depreciation is just every day, and nothing, no policy on ground. There is no effort that is being made by this administration to change things. As in, there is nothing we are saying, okay, let's see how it's going to be by January, that this government is planning to do this. We have not seen anything like that. That is even the most annoying part. So we're talking about corruption. Look at the ex-Zamfara governor. This man was said to have, looted everything in the state. I was like, possibly there was even no pot left in the kitchen in the state house. Look at Zamfara state government recovers 50 cars carted away by former governor. That is him. This is the same person that the same EFCC, though it was under the leadership of Bauer, told us that he's going to probe this man immediately he leaves office because of the level of corruption, linked to him. And this man fired back that he was asking him for bribe. So they were, trying to a kind of drag each other, only for Tinubu to come in, and then we heard that Bauer was being detained. Now, Bauer has been asked to go home. Possibly he was forcefully asked to resign, and then this ex-governor is now the Minister of Defense. Nigerians, this is the annoying part. This is somebody that we're told that he bought cars or vehicles for bandits and all. It was as if they were even having a sort of relationship. But at the end of the day, he is the Minister of Defense. This security we are still talking about, honestly, these politicians, they've really made a mess of Nigeria. They don't even care about the citizens. They don't fear the citizens. I tell you, in countries where government, as in governance, is real, they fear the citizens. But in Nigeria, they trample on people's head. It does not matter. So for them to boldly give this man such a sensitive position, it means that the voices of Nigerians do not matter. And that is what you are saying. So you can imagine the number of cars that were recovered from him, and still nobody has counted needful for him to be sacked, or for him to be asked to leave his position as the Minister of Defense. So how are we even going to fight this insecurity of a thing when we have people with questionable characters, holding positions like that? Fellow Nigerians, we've got a lot of cleanup to do. This is it. He's saying that the bombing that happened, that it has happened, it has happened. Let's just move on. This is coming from Mr. Ribadu. That it has happened, it has happened. Nigerian people's life, they don't attach any word to it. That's just what it means. No gain dwelling much on Kaduna. I think I have another clip. It's like they didn't add it here when he said we should just move on. So you can imagine, we shouldn't dwell, we shouldn't be repeating. It has happened, it has happened. Nigerians, we really have a problem. When you have people who are so insensitive, you have people who do not have this empathy. You can imagine mistakenly destroying the lives of over 100 persons, and they want us to just move on, as in nobody should talk about it again. It's usual. The Nigerian people's life worth nothing. That's just the interpretation of all this. And these people are just, living big, living big. I don't know if you've seen the video of Akpabio. He was celebrating his birthday in his state. Go and see how much they spent there. Go and see it, Nigerians, at such a time when people cannot eat rice. I called somebody who cooks rice. She was telling me that it's been long. She sells like I call it a restaurant, or when mama puts something. She said it's long she has not sold rice in her shop. She only sells things like gari and all that. It's been long that she can't even afford going to buy rice. So you can imagine the state of so many people in Nigeria. And these people are living big. You need to go and watch the video of Akpabio's birthday. You see all of them, the APC politicians, they were present there. Whose money is being used? It is your money, it is my money. That's why Peter Obi was saying during the election, collect the money. It is your money. Although they are giving it to you as if it came from, it is your money that they stole. It is your money they took. That's what they are giving you during the election. Take it, but vote for the right people who will come and change the status quo. And that is what they don't want to hear. The president's wife was she was equally present there, so she was saying that the governor of the state, I think the governor is a PDP governor. She was praising the governor that at least the governor allowed them and welcomed them, that not other governments or other governors who will not want to like give them chance to rule, that politics is over. They should allow governors to, yes, it is normal, but we must call a spade a spade. That INEC didn't do the right thing, neither did the judiciary did the right thing. That is what the Nigerian people are still saying. This is coming from Mr. Lukman. He says, stop excuses. You were part of the establishment, equally responsible for Buhari's failure. They are telling Tinubu, stop all the excuses. They will tell us they met a bankrupt Nigeria. Oh, they met so much mess on ground. Oh, that's how Buhari complained and kept blaming Jonathan for 8 good years. Buhari has come now and gone. There is nothing Nigerians can really point at and say, okay, this is what Buhari did. Nothing. This government now has come in. They promised us they are going to start from where Buhari stopped. And then that's exactly what they are doing. Now they are still they are continuing from Buhari, where Buhari stopped, and they are still blaming Buhari. Oh, we made so much on ground. We made so much mess. We made the bankrupt Nigeria. That is it. So this man is telling them to stop all these excuses. It's getting out of hand. If you've got nothing to do for Nigerians, you better tell Nigerians. So guys, let me share with you. I don't know if we'll be able to play this video to the end. Peter Obi had a great time with the Nigerian youths, and he tried to like encourage them on why they should work hard. I know that the situation in Nigeria is really bad. Everybody can see it. It is clear. The situation is really, really tough. But what can we do? We just have to, you know, keep trying and putting in our best, because there's nothing else we can do. Honestly, there's nothing.
Even this dollar I'm telling you now, how are we going to change the rates? How are we going to do? Yes. There's opportunities in Nigeria today. That opportunities are in so many areas, starting from, it requires patience, it requires sacrifice. Today, the highest inflationary item or cost of inflation in Nigeria is what? Food. Agriculture. Yes. So there's opportunity there. Today we have a situation where, again, because government is not organized, we're not doing enough exports. I just said it 2 days ago, everywhere. If you go to, I spent a week in Bangladesh, it will shock you. People who own small tailoring industry, they've put in place where if you hear that they are doing garment export from Bangladesh of $50 billion, that's right, which is about our Nigerian entire export, they are doing it for just clothing. It is individuals that are doing it. If you hear that they are doing manufacturing in China and everything, I tell you what, one of the businesses I do as a trader, when I started importing it in Nigeria, it was manufactured by husband and wife. Only husband and wife in Singapore. I went to see a big man in his office, and he gave me tea to drink, a particular tea. And I drank it. And as I was leaving, which is what I used to do when I was trading, I said, can I get the packet of this tea? He said, take it. 6 months after, I came back to him and said, I came to give you this tea, 2 cartons, because you helped me. I'm now the official representative of this tea in Nigeria. And that's how, so there's opportunities, but it requires a long time. It requires sacrifice. And it's something you must do, knowing fully well, listen, you're not going to be doing it and doing chieftaincy title. You're not going to be doing it and be doing this or doing that and everything. As young people, you must do a lot of sacrifice.
So, guys, I won't be able to play this video to the end. You might want to go to this channel to watch it in full. But the most striking thing is that he was talking about how when they invite him, we've seen him going to places like, meeting some of the, let me say, nursing schools or that. So he said in this video that if they invite him, sometimes he goes there. If he has, even if it's 150 million or 100 million, he will just give them. And he's been able to build shops that he gave to Nigerians for free without collecting money from them. So what I wanted to point out is that Peter Obi is one man that I know that has empathy, and he just wants to see Nigerians survive. He just wants to see Nigerians survive. So when you compare him with the sitting president is somebody who has once been a governor in Lagos State. And even when he left, we were told that the taxes that are being collected and monies that are gotten maybe from toll gate and all that, and so many things, most of them are rechanneled back to him. So he is like, sipping from the people. But people like Peter Obi, they are the ones that the people are sipping from. So you can see the difference. And that's why, it pisses me off when I hear Shetima coming to talk against Peter Obi. Like I told you guys, when Peter Obi complained about the 15 billion that is set aside by Wike to renovate the vice president's residence in Abuja, Peter Obi condemned it. So Shetima came out and was saying, Peter Obi is suffering from post-election, is it trauma or whatever. I was like, God, where is the comparison? He can't match Peter Obi in terms of, credibility, in terms of character. There is no match. There is no match. But you see these people, when they are given power, they just feel they are on top of the whole world, which is not supposed to be. Look at Obi, despite the fact that he spent a lot, his time, his money during the election, even going through the court case, going to court and all that. Still, he's going around. They are inviting him to places and he will still go there, donate money. That is how you know who really means well for Nigeria. But you see these people, since they came into office, is we need this for our cars. We need this for our residents. We need this to renovate. We need to change our computers. We need this to just myself, myself, myself. That's the selfish nature of the kind of government we have in place today. So there's no way you can even match them with Peter Obi. And that's why Peter Obi told them after the election that if you think you won, you didn't win the people. If you've really won an election, you're supposed to have won the people. But even up to today, don't forget this president is still begging for people to acknowledge them. They are looking for legitimacy from the people. But honestly, we know that Peter Obi is the hero of this last election. So guys, I'm going to be stopping here. I think you equally got one or two things from him. He's trying to encourage the youth. This program was meant for the youth, the Nigerian youth, trying to encourage them to see what they can do in Nigeria, especially for those who do not have the opportunity of traveling outside. And last time I also talked about something like that. I said, if you are a Nigerian and you are in Nigeria today, don't wait for this government. Don't wait for them to give you a job. In short, you don't even have any reason to be unemployed in today's world. You don't have any excuse to give to be unemployed. You can be doing anything, even like this video I'm doing. You can start doing things like this. It does not take you anything. Almost everybody in the world has got a phone, except for some of our old-aged people. There's no young person who does not have a phone. No matter how bad your phone is, you can use it to do amazing things. The opportunity is, enormous out there, especially online. You can sell, even if you are If you're a carpenter and you build things, do you know you can just put them on the social media? Somebody from Kenya may even want to buy it. And you just, all you have to do is to package it and post to the person. I've seen a woman who has a shop. What she sells is bed sheets. So people come to her and like book this bed sheet. Her tailor, she has a tailor in her shop. The tailor puts them together, design them properly, and she markets them on Instagram. You see people from around the world ordering it. So it is possible in Nigeria. Don't just sit back and think because we are to wait for the government and you are still waiting for them. You have seen it that so many companies are leaving. Possibly more companies will still live in the future. We don't pray for that. We want to see things turn around in Nigeria. We don't pray for that. But you don't have to wait for this government. Please see what you can do. If you're a young man, you've left school, let's emulate those from India. Do you know the Indian? They don't wait for their government. I know their government is equally trying to help, in creating a business-friendly environment, but they are so determined. Once you leave school, a Nigerian guy who schooled there told me that once they leave school, they go and learn all these digital skills. Whether you study whatever, you study computer science, you think you know it or no, even if you finish, you are going to equip yourself with more skills. And that is why you see the Americans hiring from India. India is like another, will I say, a second to China. We know most people get their goods produced in China. But when it comes to digital things, online stuff, people want to hire from India because I don't know how they did it. They are so digitally inclined. I don't know how they did it, but I see the determination in them, as in they are doing amazingly well. And for me, I don't think they are smarter than Nigerians. They are not. It's just that we have a government. See, now we don't have lights. Even if you want to work for somebody online, you need to go and buy a generator. You need to go and you need to be fueling it and all that. And you know what it costs. But if I should suggest, I would say, okay, you have friends. Why not come together, buy a generator, and apportion yourselves how you can be buying fuel? And you stay in one of you people's houses. Maybe you say, okay, let's stay in Obi's house and be using this thing, using a laptop or even your phone to be doing something online. You people can share it like that. Before you know, you start generating income, and then you can then do it independently. You can do it on your own without you needing your friends to come together in doing that. So there are a lot of opportunities, and that's what Mr. Peter Obi was talking about during this session. He was telling them how he started making money while he was in school and encouraging the Nigerian youth. We know the environment is so hostile when it comes to making business, doing business in Nigeria. But nevertheless, we just have to, like I always say, the Bible says, operation maketh a wise man mad. You will like say, God, this thing is holding me back. I resist it. You will stand with a very red eye to like resist it. But if you just keep sitting, that poverty, it will just keep coming. The Bible even talked about it with a slack hand. He that dealeth with slack hand becometh poor. So we just have to sit up and see what we can be doing. Please learn a skill, especially today. The online space is an amazing space. You can be creating videos, uploading on YouTube or even on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Most of these platforms are monetized. See what you can be doing for yourself. You can, if you are good at writing, can be writing blog, as in blog posts. Write about anything. You never can tell what can, uh, Google can push out there for you. But just keep doing it. I know that it takes time to get monetized, but I think it worth it once it's monetized, because you can never compare it with what you'll be paid if you are to work in the Nigerian environment. So I'm using that opportunity to also talk to you guys, my audience. Please, like I always say, if you have any question or you are interested in starting a YouTube and you don't even know how to go about it, or you want to be doing live session like I'm doing, or if there is anything, even if it pertains to blogging, and look at TikTok. Many Nigerians are on TikTok, but sometimes people just post random things. They don't try to like position themselves. Assuming you want to use it for a business, there's a way you position yourself and people will see it as a brand, and the particular brand that will come to like say, okay, we want to work with you and all that. So you go and see what you can start doing. The opportunities are huge, as in there are a lot. to gain if you are working online. Moreover, you will make money in dollars. Assuming you are getting, even if it's just $100 that you make in a month, you know how much that is when you translate it to the Nigerian currency. It's much, not to talk of making 200 or even 300. It's huge. So when you get such money, you won't be depending on the president and this kind of government we have today in Nigeria. You will ditch them. So I want to encourage you, please. Let's not sit back. Let's not relax. Let's not wait for this government. Even the next election, nobody even knows what is going to happen. I've seen some political parties coming together to say, okay, let's form a stronger force to like unseat this government. But with the kind of people we have, especially in INEC and the judiciary, I don't really know. Sometimes I try to think, what is the strategy that the youths should use come next election? Because you can't do anything again about this last election we just had. It's been concluded by the Supreme Court. You can't do anything. Kenneth Okonkwo came out and was talking about how the judiciary added what was not stated during the judgment, what they didn't pronounce orally, and it is against the law. The law says what you said during the judgment should be what is written in the written judgment, but there are some contradictions. So you can imagine this kind of judiciary we have. They are not the type that we want to trust. So what do you do, Nigerians? You just have to be on your feet and see how you can survive. So like I always say, the online space is another big opportunity, an environment you can start doing something to help yourself out. I shared with you guys the video of a guy. It was in this particular program where Peter will be speaking that guy spoke. His name is John Obidi. You can check him out. He's equally on YouTube. He spoke there on how he was confused at a certain time of his life. He didn't know what to do, but he knew he didn't want to be employed because he knows he was looking for something bigger. So not until he read a book. That book, I shared it with you guys day before yesterday. I will still post it. I will attach it on the comment section. I'll go there and pin it there so that you check it out. The 4-hour walk, something like that, that he found that book. When he read that book, he now got a direction. And that is what has transformed his life. He's not employed by anybody and he's living the life of his dream. So I want to encourage you. Don't wait for this government. There are a lot of things to grab out there. The money that is yet to be made, is huge. It's just waiting for people to take advantage of it and start plucking theirs. So don't sit back and feel you are waiting for the government. They've not got anything to offer us. You can see companies living. Nigeria, I just pray that this country doesn't really go bankrupt like they said. So guys, I want to stop here and I really want to thank you all for joining this live session today. Please do what to like this video. Help me like this video so that YouTube can recommend it to more people. And don't forget, like usual, I ask for your subscription. Please subscribe to the channel and also turn on that bell icon. Being close to the subscribe button, you see a bell icon. Press it. You see all. It gives you option. Click the all. That means you get all our updates. And if you don't mind, you can also buy us a cup of coffee. The YouTube makes it possible for you to give us a sticker, a super chat or super thanks sticker. So with this, we call this live session to an end. I want to appreciate your time. It's not taken for granted. God bless you for joining us and let's meet again tomorrow. Good night.